Alright guys, the big Nintendo Direct has finally been confirmed for this Friday, September 12th at 6 a.m. PT, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I will be live reacting to the show, live streaming it, and I will be live a couple hours beforehand to get you guys ready for the show. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button and let me know what you are predicting or looking forward to in the show in the comment section below. But for this video, we're going to be breaking down what you should be expecting and potentially what could be shown at this event, because 1 hour, it's roughly 60 minutes of content for Switch 1 and probably mostly for Switch 2 overall. So we're going to go over a number of things, what you should expect at this show. We're going to start off with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. People have been wanting this for a while. I think that we're finally going to get the release date for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond for this year in 2025. We'll see exactly where Nintendo slots it, whether it's October, November, or December. What I do think what else could be coming with this is Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 as a shadow drop type of release for September. So look out potentially for a Pikmin 1+2 situation, but with Metroid Prime 2 and 3 maybe coming sooner than maybe what some expected with that, or maybe some didn't expect it at all. But Metroid Prime 2, 3, and 4 get some love this Friday. Next up, Kirby Air Riders trailer. We already got a lot of information about this game. No need to spend too much more time, but I would expect maybe one more trailer going over something else that wasn't revealed, plus reinforcing that November 20th release date. All right, next up, let's get into some third-party content before we swing back over to first-party. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. That should be there with a new release date that is looking and running good overall. Plus, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth could also make an appearance. Nate the Hate just said that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be coming to Switch 2 and Xbox. Maybe we get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth announced alongside with the release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Definitely possible. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is also something that people have been asking about. Where is that at? Where is the 10-year agreement overall when it comes to Activision and Nintendo and Microsoft with the whole Call of Duty thing? Maybe they finally reveal what's happening with that and when that is coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2, and that could be part of the mysterious games with 7 in the title. 3 games that Switch Force talked about here. Maybe that's the 3. FF7 Remake, FF7 Rebirth, and Call of Duty Black Ops 7. All right, next up is Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. We need a release date. This game definitely had a lot of people criticizing how it ran and how it played at recent demo events. There is some information out there that maybe they have an updated build that's a bit better, but we're not going to know exactly what's happening with this until we actually get the game in our hands and the final build comes out, probably with the day 1 patch. We saw what happened with Star Wars Outlaws. Same thing could happen here, or it could not. We could have some issues, but we won't know until the game drops. So I think we get a release date for Elden Ring Tarnished Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2 at this event. All right, next up, we've got some Switch 1 games getting updates for the Nintendo Switch 2. I think personally, I would love to see Astral Chain, Xenoblade games get some updates for them to run and look better on the Nintendo Switch 2, just like we got for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening. All of that was great at the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. It would be great to get a new batch of games as well. All right, let's go ahead and move into Pokemon Legends ZA. I think that we get a new trailer for that. They've been advertising a bunch of new Mega Evolutions and stuff happening. Maybe we get another trailer for that and showing off a bit more of the game. Now, there's been some rumors about a new Pokemon spin-off game happening as well, so maybe they tandem that up. Pokemon Legends ZA, new trailer, new Mega Evolution, on top of a new Pokemon spin-off game as well, which Pokemon Company's always doing different spin-off stuff. They make a lot of different games, or they always commission different stuff all over the place when it comes to mobile, Switch 1, Switch 2, all sorts of stuff overall. So I could see a new Pokemon spin-off game coming as well, and even a release of the Pokemon Coliseum or Pokemon game NSO or something like that as well. Okay, let's get back into some third-party content here, and we got to talk about the Resident Evil games. We've got Dust Golem, very noted leaker, stating that all of the RE Engine Resident Evil games are coming over. So Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, all of those remakes, in addition to Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, and Resident Evil 9 or Resident Evil Requiem. All of those are coming. Do they announce a lot of them at this Nintendo Direct? I'm not so sure about that. Is it possible? Yes. Nintendo and Capcom have teamed up to announce a lot of Resident Evil games before. Back in the Nintendo Switch 1 era, they had a whole segment on that was pretty cool, where they hired some actors to do that, like in a horror house and all that. So I do think that it's definitely possible that Resident Evil games get announced in a really cool type of way. So we'll see what happens there. I'm banking on Resident Evil 4 Remake, Resident Evil 2 Remake. I think that those will be coming over for sure. And then we'll see about Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9. I know that Resident Evil 7 kind of popped up, so we'll just see how they spread those out and what's happening there. And it's going to be native, guys. It's not going to be cloud versions of them. Remember, all of these games are also on the PlayStation 4, with the exception of Resident Evil 9 that hasn't been announced yet, but Dust Golem was also stating that Resident Evil 9 Requiem will be coming to the PlayStation 4 as well. Okay, let's get into some Ubisoft stuff here. We saw how good the port was for Star Wars Outlaws. I think that we finally get the reveal of Assassin's Creed Shadows for the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. People have kind of forgot about that game, but if the conversion for Assassin's Creed Shadows is as good as Star Wars Outlaws, I think that that game could also sell well on the Nintendo Switch 2. I wouldn't be too excited for that, but I think that it will happen. All right, let's talk about the Mario 40th anniversary celebration, because I think that part of the reason why this Nintendo Direct might be so long is because they're going to have a whole block or a whole segment on the Mario 40th anniversary celebration. So what could we get at that Mario 40th anniversary celebration? Well, one, I would say new Mario Kart World content update. It's been a number of months. There's been nothing new in terms of content added in to Mario Kart World. I think it's just about time now at this point to add in some new content and to get a big title update, updating some of the things that fans have been talking about when it comes to the whole 3-lap races and the random race stuff, that type of thing. Probably getting some Donkey Kong Bonanza content in there with a new level or stages and outfits for Donkey Kong and Pauline as well. So I would expect content updates for Mario Kart World. I think that we could also get an older game remastered or some games kind of put up to snuff. Maybe Super Mario 3D Land. That game is stuck on the Nintendo 3DS, and it's a great 3D Mario game. We could also get Super Mario Galaxy 2 HD or remastered. That game's also stuck on the Wii U and the Wii. That game needs to come over, so I would expect some older Mario games to get polished up and put on maybe a collection for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that it's not some type of limited time thing or something like that, like they did with Super Mario 3D All-Stars on the Nintendo Switch 1. So I think that that could happen. Then I think that they can top all of that off with a tease or the first look at the next big 3D Mario game. I think that is absolutely possible, and it could be happening. I would expect it to happen at this show if they did show off like Mario's 40th anniversary and all of that. I just think that it's a possibility for it. And I think that the generation never really truly gets started until Mario kind of breaks through with his big new concept 3D Mario game. And I think that we finally get that here with a reveal at this Nintendo Direct. All right, some other possible titles that could be happening at the show. Fire Emblem 4 Remake or new Fire Emblem game. I know I've talked about this game a million times. I have people that tease me about this. I've been wrong when it comes to them showing it off, but I've heard information for like the millionth time that Fire Emblem 4 Remake is a thing. We can get that, or we can get the first look at a brand new Fire Emblem game. Now, I am reserved on a brand new Fire Emblem game that could wait for maybe early next year. I know that they like to announce Fire Emblem games at the beginning of the year and then have them release a bit later, but it's been a little bit weird with the last couple Fire Emblem games. We've had, like, let's say, for example, Fire Emblem Engage announced at the end of the year and then it launches early in the year. Then we've also had some stuff like Fire Emblem Three Houses that was announced very early in the year in 2017 and then delayed all the way till 2019 when it was supposed to come out to 2018, but then also got like another delay from like early 2019 to summer 2019. So I think that they're going to be very cautious with when and how they reveal the next major big new Fire Emblem game. But apparently Fire Emblem 4 Remake has been a thing for a while and we could see that. So that could be a Switch 1 and Switch 2 type of game, while then later we get more information on the next Fire Emblem game where we get a reveal of that later as well. There's still Tomodachi Life and there's still Rhythm Heaven. Both of those games are set for 2026 on the Nintendo Switch 1. I'm guessing that they're going to get some trailers for that, and they're going to say that there's going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 version of those games. And if those games are coming out in early 2026, then they'll go in and give those release dates or kind of target it down to maybe spring or summer 2026 for both of those. All right, we got to talk about a new Animal Crossing game. It's been about 6 years. Next year will be the 6-year anniversary of Animal Crossing New Horizons. And it's just about time that we get a new Animal Crossing game. It's around every 6 to 7 years that a new major Animal Crossing game comes for a Nintendo system. So it's just about that time that we get something. So I wouldn't be too surprised if a new Animal Crossing game is also revealed here, and it's a massive money maker for Nintendo. It sold over 46 million copies on the Nintendo Switch 1. So yes, I would expect a new Animal Crossing game incoming as well. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which I think that game could also get a release date. They've shown it off a couple times now at this point between the creator's voice, that initial reveal, plus the trailer at the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. So I think that finally gets a release date as well. It's this winter, so this winter could also mean early next year. So I'm not exactly sure when it's launching, but I think that they nailed down the launch date for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and they show off a bit more when it comes to that game. It's already looking pretty good from what they've shown, but I think that they're going to show off more of that, get that release date, and kind of just shape in a lot of the different games, piece in a lot of these different games that are coming, because I think that one thing that people need to realize that it's tough when it comes to all the amount of games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and slotting those in so they don't kind of eat from each other. So you have to make sure that your release schedule is set up right and set up for each game to have success overall. So I think that's why they're kind of waiting to the very last second here to kind of get those release dates set. But we still have a number of months left in the year, and they're going to be filling out that release date here. And then, of course, early 2026 as well. I think there's going to be content when it comes to that shown off. All right, let's talk about the last thing that we could see too, and that's the new Monolith Soft game. Now, this would be a massive direct. If we get Fire Emblem, we get Mario, we get Animal Crossing. But yeah, guys, like really, this is about the time for the second wave of big Nintendo Switch 2 games to hit the market. We still haven't got that Gen 10 Pokemon, the big Animal Crossing, the big 3D Mario, the big Super Smash Brothers. Like, that stuff is still going to come, and it's about time that Nintendo's going to move into those games. Monolith Soft's titles are also a potential type of thing for this. I am a bit more wary on that because I think that Monolith Soft games usually get announced at the beginning of the year, and then they'll try to just say, look forward to this whenever it does come out. We've seen that with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. We saw that with Xenoblade Chronicles X. We saw that with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Pretty much every single one of them are going to be announced at the beginning of the year, but it's a little bit different now with them launching in the middle of the year for the Nintendo Switch 2, so that could have thrown off or speed up the announcement of what the next big Monolith Soft game has been. They've been working on something now for multiple years at this point. They've been done with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and the DLC for years, so it's possible that we see something here. I'm not banking on it, but we could overall, and I would be over the moon, super excited if they do. Then I do just want to go over some of my thoughts when it comes to all these different things. Now, of course, there's going to be more third-party games from Sega and from Atlas and from all these different companies. Bandai Namco should have some more stuff. Like, we should get some more content from Koei Tecmo. So I'm excited and I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be the biggest Nintendo Direct that they've ever done outside of the console reveal. So expect, or any type of console reveal, so expect it to be packed full of a lot of games. And this is something that Nate the Hate talked about, where a lot of third parties have games and Nintendo has games and they're just waiting to announce them. I think that this is the show where we finally kind of see some of that third party support that people have been asking for. Overall has been better when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2, better than what Nintendo did with Switch 1, better than the Wii U when it comes to continued support over the launch and next couple months, better than what they had with the Wii, better than what they've had for like pretty much all of their systems recently. But I think that there are some things that people have been asking for that they haven't gotten yet. Now, I'm not saying that everything's going to be here, every single third-party game, every single title. I'm not saying that. Nintendo's never really going to get that at this point. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of cool stuff and a lot of variety of games for people to be able to pick up and play with good release dates overall, and of course some surprises too. So what do you guys think about this when it comes to the upcoming biggest Nintendo Direct, regular Nintendo Direct ever of all time? Let me know. Give me your predictions in the comment section. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.